Hi and welcome to my channel. I'm Dr. Carmen McGuinness and thank you so much for joining me for session 3 of A Course in Aspects. So for those of you that are not familiar, A Course in Aspects is an ongoing workshop style course in which we explore those aspects of ourselves that make us who we are but don't always play well together, sometimes preventing us from reaching our full potential. I present weekly on Sundays, but not every week is one of my Course in Aspect segments. In fact, I'll probably end up with about 6. This is the 3rd. And next week we're going to talk about some other content. It won't be one of the Course in Aspects, but we will get back to it going forward in the next weeks. So today we're going to explore different aspects of personality based on your astrological archetype. In the way of a disclaimer, I'm not an astrologer, nor do I intend the use of the astrological archetypes to be an assertion that I recommend astrology as part of your way of planning your life. In fact, I simply use the archetypes because I find them useful as fertile ground for conversation about the aspects of personality, since most people know the narrative associated with their sign, and talking about the aspects of the narrative gets us thinking about our personalities more deeply. Now, that said, I am a follower, personally, of astrology. I do want to state that because I want to be completely honest here. But you do not have to be at all to use this activity. So that said, let us begin. And I'm going to use myself as the guinea pig here today because I'm here and you're not, so I can't really ask you questions and talk to you about your archetype. But as I proceed, I invite you to apply what I'm showing you and the process of analysis to your own sign. So I recommend that you get out a piece of paper and either make 5 lists or use a Venn diagram if that's how you like to note what you're working on. It's up to you. It's completely up to you. So on one list, and I've done this work ahead, obviously. I'm not going to sit here writing and thinking in front of the camera. On one list, I've placed those qualities that I like about the Virgo archetype. And on another, I've placed those that I really don't like and would maybe like to forget about or have removed from the Virgo archetype list. In yet another list, I've placed those aspects of the Virgo archetype that I don't own at all. I just really don't see it in myself, or at least I don't think I do. And then I split this list into those that I'd like to own and those that I wish to own, that I don't wish to own, sorry. So the yeses and the nos. And on yet a 5th list, I've written some aspects that I think I have which are completely contrary to the Virgo archetype. So as we go, we'll include a little history about the archetype. And I'll just start with this. So Virgo is based on the goddess Demeter. And she is the goddess of the harvest. She is thought to be a provider of nurturance of all sorts. And right from the start there, we have one aspect of this archetype that I accept, that I like, that I want to put on my yes, please keep this list. A nurturer, one who cares for others. And indeed, I started my early career as a Montessori teacher working with kindergartners 3 through kindergarten, and then later became a psychologist and board-certified behavior analyst and operate a school for children with disabilities, a Montessori school. So nurturance fits me. It is something I like about myself and something I have chosen to do as a life work. Indeed, I have Virgo friends who are nurses. I have one Virgo friend who is a lawyer. Virgos are pretty good with words. But her particular brand of law is that she works with victims, sexual victims. So Virgo is also a mutable sign. And the mutable signs are considered to be the servants of the zodiac, as say compared to the cardinal signs, which get to be the leaders. So here we've gone too far for my taste. I don't think of myself as a servant. And it's not that servitude is beneath me. It's that the word implies that I nurture others because I have to or because I should. So yes to nurturance and no to servitude. For me, that's my personal preference. Virgo is also the only woman in the night sky who is not in chains. And I really like this one. We're going to put this on my yes list. I think of myself as an independent woman. No chains for me. So free in the night sky and independent. Yes, it goes on my yes list. So here's an aspect I'd love to have, but I don't. I wish I did, but I definitely don't. I am not a perfectionist. Perfectionism is on the Virgo archetype list anywhere you look, and it's just not me. I'm usually quite happy to get a job done to the extent that it needs to be done, to the extent that it needs doing, and that's as far as I go. And then I sit back and I have a cup of tea, something herbal, please. That suits the Virgo archetype. Virgos have also been called pedants. They're accused of correcting the spelling errors of others and pointing out when someone's label is showing, chasing people down in malls and saying, "Madam, excuse me, but your label is sticking out at the back of your shirt." I don't do that. I just don't. Now that said, I do have a friend who once, this is years ago, corrected a graduation card that I gave her. I won't tell you what word I misspelled because it's embarrassing. I should be a better speller than I am, but she did. She's a Virgo, and she corrected me. And she actually said, "I know you'll understand because you're a Virgo too." And I just never, I don't even spot my own spelling errors, let alone those of others. Anyway, so an aspect of myself that's completely contrary to the Virgo archetype, and this is true confessions here, I push messes into closets and drawers. I'm just not a neatnik. Never have been, probably at my age never will be. And I store my mail in the trunk of my car for months on end. It's when I have a missing bill or something gets turned off that I realize, oh wait, no, I need to go look in my trunk and find that. So, true confessions of a messy Virgo. So, now that we have examples, a few examples on the table, and I've said enough about my private stuff here, let's talk about what to do with this sort of information once you make your list, or your Venn diagram. First, look at those that don't play well together, that are at odds with one another for one reason or another. And on my list, I think the two that stand out, for me anyway, is nurturer and servant. Okay, as I look at my own response to the word servant, and I'm going to quote myself here, implies that I do it because I have to. Well, okay. Maybe to some extent I do. Maybe there is some part of me that feels she has to nurture others to be useful and helpful, and that she should be useful and helpful. And then once we have that out, we explore, what does that mean about me? And that will have an answer, which I'm not going to share with you here today. It's all too private. But you will find these sorts of answers. And once you do, and you've heard this from me before, ask again. This is kind of my mantra. What does that mean about me? We always go to the next layer in the onion if there is a next layer, and if we can get to it today. So, ask yourself, what does it mean that I don't like this aspect of my archetype? And then when you find your answer, ask again, so what does that mean about me? Another thing you can do with your list is to look at the I don't have this aspect, but would like to list, and ask yourself if you do have some semblance of that aspect. Sort of roam around in your own mind for a moment and remember yourself. Have tea with yourself, as I like to say. For me, I have to own that although I'm not a perfectionist, I am a worrier. And what I worry about is all those things that I didn't do perfectly and how they might come up to haunt me someday. Owning this helps me move toward becoming perhaps a little bit more of a perfectionist and a little bit less of a worrier. I mean, what do perfectionists have to worry about after all? So, that's what I have for you today. A little exercise in identifying aspects of yourself and how to take them out to play together, hopefully nicely, or at least eventually nicely. Anyone can do this at home by finding the story of your astrological archetype online and then reading about the many traits it's reported to possess. And please be sure to make your lists. There's power in written words. I know you other Virgos are going to make lists because we Virgos love our lists, don't we? And air signs might try to slide by without a list because you can hold so many words in your minds. And it's true, you can, but make your list. It'll help you keep it organized. And you cardinal signs might think this is just all completely unnecessary, you leaders. You know yourself so well. But I'm just having fun with you now. Virgos do love to tease, and that's an aspect of myself that I like until it starts to dip into being gauche, and then I absolutely hate it. And that's what I'm still working on. So, thank you for stopping by my channel today. I hope that this has been helpful for you. I hope you will take your aspects out to play, have tea with them, consider what they might mean to each other and how they might work together, and what they might argue about and who might win, and what kind of an agreement they might come to. So I hope you have a wonderful day, rest of the day, and a fantastic week, and I will see you next Sunday. Do take care.